Tonight, we are playing mazes with the awesome Chris O'Neill from Ninth Level Games. I'm going to remind folks that if you are interested in the game that we're playing tonight, and if you find entertainment about it, hit the Kickstarter link in the description, and also check out the Mazes Discord. The link is down there as well. Join that great community down there and be a part of all the things that are going on at ninth Level with Mazes. They made a surprise announcement the other night on our Chaotic Goodcast, and they also made it official on their Kickstarter today. So if you haven't checked that out, already go check out the Kickstarter, because they've got some exciting news that they just announced. So without further ado, let's get to mazes.
Oh, that was a nice video. That was a real graphic.
That was high end, top of the line, spare no expense intro clip right there.
That's why
with plenty of pixels.
Plenty of pixels.
All the pixels.
All the pixels.
We love it.
Chris, thanks for coming back on the show. We're playing mazes tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The Kickstarter is doing really well. It's what I think it was like over $81,000, almost approaching $82,000. That's crazy, man.
It's crazy to me.
It's good.
I'm the most. We're at 81,624. 81,624.
That's crazy.
In our wildest dreams, we were like, if we could get 2,500 backers, it would just be amazing. And I think we might get there. And it's absolutely blowing our minds.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So,
I'm excited for you. I can't. We had you on the Chaotic Goodcast the other night, and you talked a little bit about how this went from a zine kind of project to this full blown release, and it's just been awesome to see it have such success. We actually played mazes at VC during VCGCon last year. It was almost about this time. I think none of the cast members that are on tonight played it, but that's all right. We'll kind of you'll help us you'll walk us through as we play.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And obviously, when we do this, do like to do it in such a way that the people at home can kind of see behind the curtain a little bit. And the good thing is I sent you all some pre-made characters. I literally made them an hour ago, like before I sent them to you, because you can make 5 characters for mazes in like 8 minutes. It's pretty straightforward. The big thing for everybody is and I think what we're going to do is I will let each of you introduce your character, and when you do, introduce your role and your aspect and your class, and then give me your character's name, because I don't know, other than Jonah and Stavros, I see written down here.
I need to change. Yeah, we should probably change our name there.
Professionals on the bottom level. Just
Yeah.
And then we'll do what a traditional mazes opening. Mazes, a trad mazes game always starts at the door to adventure. So we're just going to start right in the middle of it, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and those questions are going to determine the starting darkness and treasure. And I have prepared I think an interesting little death trap. We'll see what happens. Did I say death trap? I meant wonderful, good time adventure.
It's a ball pit of fun.
Great little romp.
So, Ziggy, why don't you introduce your character, Doug?
I was just trying to format my name just like everyone else. Wait a second.
Like a real boy.
So I'm playing Zygmunt. He also is called Ziggy, but he hates it. He is a fighter, and that's my role. And my aspect is sword. So I'm a sword. And
S word.
Yeah.
You're the S word.
Yeah, and then I am my class is Hard Assassin. So
as a hard assassin, your aspect is sword, which means that whenever you spend your stars, you are spending them to do martial activities, right?
okay.
How you solve your problems is by the sword.
Okay.
So your special effects are related to, kicking, punching, killing, all that.
Nice.
All right, Standa.
All right, I am playing Snid. My role is Vanguard, and my aspect is Sylvan, and I'm a goblin.
So the Sylvan aspect, you solve your problems with your connection to the natural world. You are a forest goblin, so when you spend your stars, it's to do things about your knowledge of nature or your connection. You hear a wolf howl in the distance, or
Okay.
know that someone shouldn't
Or
plant.
or a little birdie literally tells me.
Yeah, which one of my all-time favorites. When I play a wizard, I always have birds that just want to stop and tell me what's going on.
Love it.
Ben.
So I am playing Jonah. My role is fighter. My aspect is skill, and I am a traveling smith.
So since you are a traveling smith and your aspect is skill, you solve your problems with your with your enlightened skills. So you can spend your stars to do things that are things a smith would know. Like you could say, I want to, when you're spending a star, it's generally going to result usually in an automatic success of some kind. So you could be attacking someone and be like, oh, I hit him right in that part where his armor is weak because I know that, or I've been traveling around and I know that these people are like that because it's about your skills. Your special effects are about your skills.
Excellent.
Jason.
I will be playing Stavros. His role is a sentinel. His aspect is sorcery, and his class is old wizard. So I will be your curmudgeon for the evening.
Your aspect is sorcery. So obviously, when you spend your stars, it's to cast magic spells, to do magical things. One of the things that's important is all of your abilities and everything else is based on your die. So each of you has a different role. Two of you are fighters. Your role is you roll a d8. Whenever you do anything in the game, you're always just going to roll a d8. The fighter's goal and job is to be the offensive. The sentinel is the defensive character. It's the tank in the party. Your goal is to keep everybody safe. You're going to roll a d10. You always roll the d10. And the Vanguard is about moving around and controlling the battlefield, doing things like that. So you are the d6. We don't have anyone playing a Paragorn, so there's no d4s tonight, but there could be a d4. Super good. When you look at your character sheet, or if you look up in Ben's picture-in-picture, there's a special thing that can happen. It's called your crown. So for the fighters, your crown is 8. For the Vanguard, your crown is 6. And for the Sentinel, your crown is 10. It is the highest number your die can roll. And when you roll that, it can be success, depending on what's going on. Whenever you roll a 1, it's called a key. If it's something that your character could do, it always succeeds. If it's not something that you think your character would be able to do, it fails. Everything else is about the 4 other actions: books, boots, blades, and bones. We'll get into that. Not a thing. Everybody here has played a role-playing game before, so we sort of understand the piece. Here's the thing that's super different. You guys all know each other. You've been adventuring together. You had gotten word that there was a recently uncovered ruin in this series of temple ruins. And when you heard about that, someone had said that everyone that went down into the dungeon died. So of course you all decided, what a great idea. We should go. We should do that. So the question I have for you is, knowing that everyone else that has gone down into this dungeon has died, do you all go in because you A, are confident that you will survive because you are powerful adventurers, or are you attempting to right the wrong that those people have died in here?
I'm partial to the first one.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the first one myself, but
You have to decide as a group.
Ben,
Both.
Amanda,
Both.
Ben, Amanda.
That sounds good.
I mean,
can't Eldorado it, Ben.
Well, it sounds like you two are confident in our abilities, so I've been around the block a few times. I could make sure that I keep us alive in there.
So you're powerful. You are a group of powerful adventurers, and you know that you're ready to go down here, and you're ready to kick butt and take. So we're going to say that you start the game out with 4 treasure, which is a treasure for every member of the party, and we're going to say that you start the game with 3 darkness. Darkness is basically for me as the maze controller. I don't roll dice, but darkness is, as things get darker, things can become more difficult for you. And that will determine whether or not your crowns are successful in some other pieces of the game. At any time, any player can say, I want to spend a treasure to generate equipment or something that you would need in the game.
Okay.
When you do that, you don't have to ask the other players. You just do it. When you encounter treasures inside the game, they will increase your treasure total.
Fair enough.
All right. So that's us 12 minutes in. How does everybody feel?
I'm good.
Let's go.
I'm good. Yeah,
Ready to rock and roll? Ready to roll some dice?
absolutely.
Okay, the 4 of you, stalwart adventurers that you are, you have come to this ancient ruin. There is a large ruined temple structure here, and off to the side of the temple, nearby, but not actually in like the main piece, there looks like a ring, a circle of what was once columns that is mostly broken down. And in the center of that ring, there is a stone, almost looks like a mausoleum. And the door to it has been broken off recently. And it looked like it had been completely covered in moss and lichen until very recently, until these last adventurers probably broke their way in. You stand at the door to adventure. What would you like to do?
Well, we're not going to get in standing here.
It's very true.
I'd like to inspect the door.
Sure. Give me so whenever you're doing anything in mazes, you roll your die. For inspecting, you're going to be looking for books.
Okay.
If you think one of your edges would give you advantage in this situation, let me know, and I'll tell you if you're right.
No, I don't think any of my edges right now. But let's. No, I rolled a 7.
Yes, you inspect the door. It is a door. It is made of stone.
I knock on the door and I said, "Yep."
It is definitely broken. It looks like it would have been broken. It doesn't look like anyone like pried it off. It just looks like it fell off.
Broken door.
Well, move it aside then.
I'll lift it up and just.
With the faint light coming through, down into the stairwell down, you see that it looks like there's a short set of stairs down into a room that opens up. That's probably, at least 15 feet. So a pretty large sized room at the bottom of the stairs. But you can only see the part near the bottom of the stairs.
All right.
Well, I dare say this is the beginning of the adventure. Snid, what do your goblin eyes see down there?
Good question.
Are you looking down there?
I am going to look down there.
Are you going down there, or are you just looking down there?
I'm gonna peer into the darkness first before I go down there.
Give me a books roll.
Books. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, this is something that your character would be able to do. You are, and also you are keen.
Oh, that's right. I have the keen eyesight. So edges means.
So why don't you roll another die, because you would have
go again. Okay. That time I got a 4.
Okay. Which is a fail, but it's okay because you succeeded on the first one. You're with your eyes accustomed to the gloom of the forest, you look down into peace, and you see that there seems to be a path trudged through moss and lichen. It looks like this has been completely overgrown, but someone has recently walked through it. You also see and smell an awful lot of bird guano.
Stavros will quietly puke in the corner.
It is
No.
that.
It's fine. Somebody else has been down here, and also it smells like birds.
Birds.
That lovely acrid stench of a room full of birds.
Yeah, bird crap. That's what it smells like.
With my learned edge, could I remember anything about subterranean birds at all?
Yeah, give me
Birds?
a books roll
Mediterranean birds.
with
What?
advantage because you are learned.
I got a 3 and a 7.
Well, 3 is actually a success. So, there aren't a whole lot of subterranean birds.
It's not a thing or something.
Yeah, very specifically, it's like if you are underground, you're not a bird. But you do, you think that it's very strange, bird, especially something that would have been sealed.
Yeah. Okay. Snake,
That's
clearly it's
That's
gotta
our
be
birds.
it's got to be safe down there. If no one dies in the first room of a dungeon, get on down there.
Welcome to my new dungeon called The First Room. Everyone died.
I will give you that I didn't see any bodies or smell any bodies. So, all right, I'll forge ahead.
That is true. Are you going in first, Snid?
I guess.
What is the order in which you are all walking?
I'll be
I
behind
will-
Snid.
And I'll follow after the wizard.
Yeah, I'll take up the tail then.
I like it. All right. So you all are going in. As you're going in, it is once you get to the bottom of the stairs, you can't really see past because it is completely dark.
Did anyone bring a light? It's very dark in here.
I will put my backpack down and dig out a lantern and carefully light it.
Would you like to spend a treasure to do that?
This is what the treasure is
Just
for,
a
so that we
lantern.
can see in the dark.
Fine. You know what? I will. Yeah.
Good. All right. Just so you know, whenever you spend a treasure, if you have as much treasure as you have people in the party, you are considered flush. Everything's going good. So when you spend a treasure, it affects everyone in the party.
Oh.
But when you are under the number of people in the party, you are skint, and it means when you spend a treasure, it only affects one person. So right now, there's enough that you have light aplenty. You have as you light your torches. You are sitting in this room. This room is, it's about 15 feet by 15 feet. Across the room, there is a hallway that is stretching to the south. The walls of this room are covered in a thick, ropey vine, and with black and purple leaves stretching all the way to the ceiling. And as you look to the ceiling itself appears to be painted a glorious blue, like a sky. It looks like a sky with like clouds. It's like a Ben, you've been or Jonah, you've been around. It looks like a mosaic that you would see in a rich villa or in a nice temple.
Fine craftsmanship. This place must have been important at one point.
Well, now it's covered in bat crap, so
I would bird. It smells like bird.
Bird, bat, whatever. Flaps. It all flaps.
Snid, you definitely notice that there is a lot of bird shit all over.
I would actually like to examine these vines because it seems strange to me that something with leaves would be growing underground where there is no sun.
Yeah, that seems real. Give me a books roll.
Okay. That is a 6.
All right. Because the darkness is low, you are a vanguard, so your crown is 6. So you have rolled a crown, and that is these something when you get close to them, they look like real leaves, and they are organic. They're not fake, but they are some kind of. You've only heard rumors of plants that thrive in the darkness. Like they live in the dark the way that other plants would live in the light.
This is really weird.
Give me a boots roll with advantage since you are up in them vines.
Okay. Let's see. Boots, I want 3, 4, or 5. I succeed.
Okay. As you are looking at that, something moves through the vines. You thought it was a vine, and then as you touched it, it moved.
Yeah.
And then spins out into the room, and it looks like a snake with wings.
What? What? They're not supposed to have those.
Snake bird.
I don't think that's a thing.
Well, it is now.
Good point.
Stavros, you were directly behind Snid. So,
Yes.
a snake bird, as you called it, is coming right for you. So in this game, I don't ever roll dice, so I would never roll to attack. So you have to roll to defend. So how are you defending against this incoming attack?
I am going to. What is? Okay, Ziggy, you just sit there and be quiet. I am going to conjure up a magical shield in front of me as it comes close and try to block it.
All right, so you have 2 options there. So you can roll dice, right? Because what you're doing is just an action that is the idea of the action, the color of the action is your magic. So that in that case, what you're doing is just a standard blades roll, right?
Okay.
Or you can spend a star to cast a spell. If you do that, then the effect is greater and it just automatically happens.
I won't spend a star this time.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of them because you are a sentinel.
No. Yes.
What you do have is a lot of hearts, which is good. So what you want to do is you want to make a blades roll.
Okay. I got a 5, so that's a success.
That is a success. You conjure a shield out of the mists in front of the flying snake monster. It bangs itself against it's banging yourself against the shield as it's flying around. What is everyone else doing?
I will take my trusty smith hammer and use it to try to hit this thing.
Give me a blades roll. And you are well armed.
Well
right?
armed, so I will get advantage on this. Correct?
Yes, you will.
All right. Double 6s, actually.
Okay, so just so you know, as a fighter with well armed, you are gonna hit all the time. You're gonna it's gonna be uncommon for you not to hit. But hitting twice is really great because now you can either deal maximum damage or you can roll with you can roll effect All right. So the third kind of roll, we've already had an action roll, which is when you say you want to do something and you roll your dice. We've had a save, which is when I tell you something and then you roll your dice. And then the third kind of roll is an effect, which is when you roll the dice, and unlike rolling against the things on your character sheet, you're just trying to roll high numbers usually because you're trying to say how much happened. So whenever you're rolling effect, your die explodes. So you can either, because you had a critical, you can either just do 8 damage, or you can roll a second die.
Well, I think we're gonna roll for effect. So
yeah,
just roll again. 7.
You're gonna roll.
So
you rolled a 7.
Yep.
And then roll another die because you got
and a 6.
Yeah, 13's pretty good damage.
All right.
Kill it before it gets through my shield, Jonah.
Yeah, you crush it. You crush it against the shield.
It bounces against the shield. Like, don't kill me.
Yeah, and so now that you're looking at it, it's like this, like it's like a 6 foot long snake.
6 foot long. Oh my god.
That's a lot of snake.
With wings that have with like a 4 foot wingspan.
Oh my. Okay, this is bigger
No
than I thought it
wonder
was.
there was so much poop around here.
I'm kind of glad I blocked this now.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think it's like it's a thin snake, but it's got these wings. You hear slithering all around you.
Oh! It wasn't alone. It wasn't alone. There are more.
Let's get out of this room.
I agree. I think that's the best plan.
Are we sure? We're getting out of the room? Do we want to go deeper?
Which way are you going?
All right.
Onward. We're not giving up after we just got in here, but out of the snake room.
Yeah. Okay,
are you all running into the hallway?
So it would appear. I'll bring up the rear this time, though, to block.
Yeah, I'm going to take the lead, and I'll run into the hallway.
Okay, so you Zygmunt runs down the hallway, and you're the first to see that the hallway is probably about 20 feet long. And as you get near the end of it, it opens into a room that has a door leading in every direction. There's a door or a doorway back the way you came, and then a doorway east, north, and south, or east. West, south, and east. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's there's 4 doors.
4 doors.
Can we close the one behind us?
They're not doors; they're doorways.
Just doorways. Okay.
There's 4 hallways. Stavros, as you step into the hallway, you hear a kerthunk, and a metal portcullis falls behind you, blocking you from the room that you just exited.
Who's in the lead of the group right now?
Zygmunt.
That's
Zygmunt,
me.
what did you step on?
I didn't step on anything.
The door closed behind us, Ziggy.
Yeah. Ugh, I hate it when you call me that.
Well, stop making mistakes, and I'll stop calling you that.
I'm gonna lift up under Zygmunt's foot and see if he stepped on something. Like, I'm literally just gonna grab his foot and lift it up.
Like, I didn't step on anything.
Give me a books roll. You're keen, so give it to me with advantage.
Yes, I succeed.
You don't see anything. Just the stones.
I'm gonna go kick you like with my boot.
Hey, I was just checking. We need to know if there are traps in the floor. It's important.
The thing that you do notice is that Zygmunt, are you in the hallway or are you in the room?
I was gonna say I was in the room with the 4 doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in that room.
Right.
All right. So what you do notice, Snid, is that the room that you enter into, the floor appears to be tiled with red tiles, or they were red at one point. and the room that you were coming from, the tiles were white. Since you are, with your face down against the
Playing around on the floor.
as a floor kid, you notice. Stavros, you see that it basically it's like 5 thick metal bars have fallen down and latched in that are basically blocking you like a jail cell would. And then you see that room has erupted into a flurry of flying snakes flying all around it.
See, it's a good thing we're over here.
Yeah.
Well, does it look like they might be able to get through the bars, or is that going to keep them out with their wings?
You think that they would be able to if they really wanted to?
Let's hope they really don't want to then.
But it would be tough. Like if you think about a bird trying to get through.
Yeah, it wouldn't be easy, but it's
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I will keep an eye on the portcullis. You guys, quickly find us a way out of this room before they come through.
There are lots of ways out of this room. We just need to pick one.
There's 3 ways out of this room. In the center of the room, there is a large metal. There's a large metal. It almost looks like a column. The top of the column appears to have been made smooth, and there is a symbol etched into it. It appears to be made of metal.
I will go investigate this column and see if the symbol's a maker's mark or something else. Instructions, perhaps, on where to go.
You recognize the symbol immediately. It is the symbol for the magic of Forge, which is one of the 5 standard domains. So it's the idea of metal and fire. And you recognize the smoothness of the top of this as being hammered. This is effectively an anvil. It doesn't look like your traditional anvil. It's just like a big ingot of metal that someone has just banged on.
Fine craftsmanship again. This place. I like it.
Yeah, you think of it it would be impossible to get this out of here. But if you were able to get this out of here, this is, it would be worth a fair bit as this is a high quality anvil. It's very weird that it's not near a source of fire, but which makes it less useful.
Well, we've got 3 options here, folks. Which one are we going down? Can I hear it?
Through.
What's that?
Pick one before the snakes come through.
Can we see anything out of either of the 3 hallways?
As you walk by with your torch, or with your oil lamp, you see that each of the hallways is about 20 or 30 feet down. The one to the west, you see, is tiled in green tiles, and it cuts to the right, so you can't tell where that one goes. The one to the south is, strangely, your torch does not seem to penetrate very far. And the one to the east is blue in color, the tiles, and there is a large door at the end of the hallway.
Green or blue?
Or impenetrable gloom.
My favorite Crayola.
Green means go, right?
That sounds as good as any logic that we have so far, which is none. So sure.
All right, I'll start. I'll start heading slowly down the green pathway.
So you're walking down the pathway. After about 20 feet, it turns 90 degrees to the right.
Okay.
And it opens into another large 15 by 15 foot room. Against the far wall is a painting of a mountain scene. I'm sorry, not a painting, a mural.
Okay.
That word. A painting that's on the wall. It's not a painting.
It's a mural.
Yeah, it's a mural. Okay.
Sometimes.
The wall.
Sometimes it's a fresco. Not always. Sometimes.
So, I mean, if Snid has any art history ability, you might call it a fresco. I think it's. What's the difference?
So a mural. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry everybody. A mural is any painting that's on a wall. It's only a fresco if the paint is mixed with the plaster and applied to the wall that way.
You would call this a fresco.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm picturing Minoan
learning
Roman
about
kind of
Snid.
thing, so it'll be a
I
fresco.
need to use my art degree occasionally, guys.
Yeah, it appears to be a fresco of like a scene of a forest with two mountains rising up out of it.
Do they look familiar to us in any way? Like, have we seen this place before?
Anybody that would like to give me a books roll, if you are learned, or travel.
I am travel.
On that.
I will roll that. You said books, right?
Books.
No successes for me.
I got a 1, so a key, and a 6, so no success on the 6.
But you are the itinerant smith. You have seen these mountains before.
Good
but,
mountains. Big mountains.
If you were to like it triggers. There should be there's a city that should be in front of them.
Old mountains.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things that you'd be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it would look like. But Denver's missing, right? Like that's like
Right.
Where is that city?
I'll investigate where look a little closer at where the city would be, and is there any markings, or is it just an impression of the world before the city?
Where is everyone else?
I will be off to the right-hand side of the fresco.
I'm gonna get a trap.
I'm looking at the other walls. I'm just inspecting the walls.
I'm standing right next to Jonah, just going, "That's a nice mountain."
So, are you standing to the left or the right of him?
To the right.
And
there's Jonah, then there's me, then there's Snid, and then there's me.
Right. So yeah. And Zygmunt, you are at the other walls. Are you on the left wall or the right wall?
We'll be on the left wall.
Questions a GM asks that make you nervous.
Yeah,
Please
so
explain precisely where you are.
So I'm a firm believer in the following statement. It appears to be empty.
Yes.
Right.
It's always the correct answer, no matter what. It appears to be empty. But it is very important where you're standing right now, because as Jonah is kind of like looking, the floor just falls out from underneath Ziggy. And you notice the floor falls out from the other corner of the room and from the entire hallway coming into this room.
You stepped on now, Ziggy.
It's just like the floor is like whoosh. Ziggy, what are you doing? You get a chance to react as the floor falls out from underneath of you.
Can I try to, like, as I'm about to fall, can I like try to reach for the part that's not like giving way, so I can hopefully not fall to my death?
So normally I would give you a disadvantage to this roll, but you are agile, so that advantage will cancel that out.
Okay.
So just give me a boots roll.
A boot roll. All right, here we go. I rolled a 6.
and you are not a vanguard. You are a fighter.
I am.
Okay, so you fall into the hole.
Nice.
You're going to take 4 hearts worth of damage.
Ooh, I only have 8, so that's half my life right there.
Now, the important thing to know is that if you ever run out of hearts or stars, you can take a condition. If you look on your character sheet above your hearts and stars, there's conditions. You can take a condition to refill them.
Okay.
You're not just... Yeah.
Yes.
You are... You try to grab for the side. You bang your arm. You fall into this pit. And when you hit the ground, you noticed that it is like sand.
Okay. It's like sand.
I mean, you would think it's sand. It's dark, so it's hard to tell exactly what it is.
Okay.
You know that like when you hit sand, like if you were to like jump onto sand, like your feet would go through, but if you were to fall onto sand, it's like pow.
It's hard. Right. Yeah, it hurts.
The fluid dynamics of sand, you hit pretty hard, but it feels like it's moving.
It feels like it's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take a look around and see? I'm assuming my light like fell down with me.
Yeah, I'm assuming your light went out, but when you look up, you fell like a good 10 feet.
Right.
But you can see the light from your friend's torches above you. This entire thing, it's probably like it's like a 5 foot by 5 foot pit onto this like sand bottom.
All right. I'm gonna yell up to the crew and be like, "Hey, can someone throw me down a rope? Kind of stuck down here."
What are y'all doing?
Does it appear that was just like a trap door, or is there imminent danger of more floor sections falling in?
When you turn around, you see that it does appear that they were like trap doors.
Okay.
And it looks like there were 3 of them, 1 in each of the corners and 1 in the hallway.
Oh. Okay.
This is a really unusual trap.
All right. So I'll go over to the edge of the trapdoor that Ziggy fell down and just peer in and be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'll be fine. Just get me out of here.
What's down there? Anything good?
He is.
I am.
What else?
Just me and some sand, I think.
Are you sure? Have you thoroughly investigated?
I don't. Who cares? I just need to get out of here.
How about you investigate while we work on a way to get
How about you send me down a light? Because I don't have a light down here.
Fine. Here you go.
Ah! You like throw a torch at my face?
Throw a torch in his head.
Just drop a torch. Incoming.
Move out of the way.
Jonah, what are you doing?
Had nothing caught my eye on the fresco. It just we all got distracted by Ziggy stepping on things again.
After that happens, I mean, when after Ziggy's yelling, what do you do? What are you doing?
Sighing, turning back around to see if someone else is helping Ziggy, or if I need to go over and take care of this myself.
Snid goes over.
Then I will return to my examining of the fresco.
So you turn around to the fresco. So I love this, right? Like you're like examining the whole thing. Ziggy yells. You hear the thud. You turn around like, oh my god. Snid runs over. You're like, all right, I guess he's being helped. You turn back around. When you turn back around, the fresco's right here.
It's following you.
Like the fresco was here, and now it's like the fresco's right here. You notice that the entire wall is just pushing.
No problem.
Oh my.
Time is limited. We should figure out a way to leave.
Okay, Captain Obvious. Thanks for that.
Does anyone have a rope? Ziggy, is there a way out down there? Is there a way out? Because we have a problem and we need to leave this room like right now. Is there a way out?
I'm gonna pick up the torch that landed down on the ground, and I'm gonna like wave it around and see what I can see.
You're looking around. You see that there's a lot of like scratches on the wall. And you see a couple of you see like a skeletal arm that's like caught and like completely. And you notice that the sand that you landed on is like swirling and like going down a hole in the center, like inside a giant sand timer.
A sandy
Okay.
bowl.
Or potentially a counterweight that causes to pull a fresco down a hallway.
Yeah. I don't really want to get stuck down this hole. Can you? There's nothing down here. It's just sand, and I'm gonna follow it down into the hole here pretty soon. So
there
we need to get out of here.
Rope.
So there's
Anybody
a
have
way.
rope?
You have 3 treasure.
I'm gonna throw him a rope. Oh yeah, I have rope. Here.
You have 2 treasure. Yeah, you can have rope. You obviously you guys are great adventurers. You know exactly what you're doing. You get some rope out.
So I'm gonna. Can I climb up the rope and then like shove the skeleton like hand and stuff into the sand on my way? So then I'm hoping maybe it slows down the sand or something, clogs up the sand.
Yeah, so you're climbing up. You kick the skeleton hand down. You notice it doesn't seem to slow the sand at all. Stavros, what are you doing?
Just waves at you as it heads down.
Is there any other way out of this room other than the door we came in?
I mean, maybe on the other side of this fresco that's making the room smaller as we talk.
Okay. Well, they're helping him out with the rope. I'm just gonna like brace myself against the wall, all like superhero style, and try to hold it.
With your human strength.
Yes, with my average human strength.
Give me a bones roll.
I got a 1.
As an old wizard, I don't think this is something that you would normally do. So you set yourself up like, I got this, and then it's just like.
I appear to be slowing it down. Quickly, help him.
Pushing you back.
You're not slowing it down. But I'm going as fast as I can.
It's pushing you back, and you notice, Stavros, that it's like pushing you right towards the other trap door that's open.
Oh, I don't like the sound of this. This sucks.
Is there any like shards of stone that I could maybe use as a wedge and try to wedge it and kind of
while he's looking up, I'm going to climb up
the. Jonah, as a skill aspect character, you could spend a star to use a tool. You could spend one of your stars to, a pry bar. Or
I'm down with that.
Some, it's part of what you do. That's what you do.
Some sort of hydraulic jack, perhaps.
This is not cyber mazes.
Yeah,
but in cyber mazes, that would totally be what you would do.
Totally, yes.
Yes, I will expend a star.
Yes, great. So you spend a star, and you are trying to hammer some like pry bars or like spikes.
Yeah, or some.
You notice it definitely noticeably slows the wall, but it's still moving. But you think you have enough time, like that. It's not just going to knock you over. You're not just going to be dead.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's. How far is the pit that we're being pushed towards? Is there a way to jump over it, or?
So if you think about it, like here's the room. If this is the room, let me see if I can imagine. Get to there we go. There are pits in both corners.
Yep.
And then there's a pit that would be right below in the middle.
Okay, yep.
But the pits themselves are only 5 foot by 5 foot. So, unless you failed horribly, you think you could jump over the pit that's 5 foot by 5 foot.
Okay.
But if you were to stand in here and that thing were to push you all the way, it would push you into one of the pits.
Well, I say we try to move and leap over this pit. Is Ziggy up yet?
Yeah, Ziggy's climbing up right now.
I climb up and I see that the wall's moving, and I go back down.
Again. You guys are good. I'm fine down here.
Let's go. We gotta go.
I'm gonna search the room. Thinking like, there's got to be a way to stop this. This can't be just a one-shot deal. So I'm gonna search for some sort of mechanism to reset the trap or whatever.
Give me a books roll.
Books is way too low for that. 6. No success.
Give me another books roll because your familiar could also be looking.
True. Yes, my familiar is an orangutan, by the way.
Absolutely.
All right.
I got a 10.
Why wouldn't it be?
I rolled a crown. Yeah.
That's a crown. That's your thing. So that is going to work. I just now pictured that you are the old wizard that is played by Clint Eastwood in Every Which Way But Loose, with your orangutan familiar, who's wearing
hanging on my back the whole time.
Yeah, he looks like a fuzzy bag. And
yeah,
you're like, no, it's an orangutan.
Where do you think I got that torch from?
What is your familiar's name?
His name is Stefan.
Stefan.
Yes.
Stefan climbs up onto the wall because it's he's an orangutan. That's just a little bit of purchase, and starts to hoot and point to you all that you need to get off the floor, because there's actually like a space. You can see that there's a space on the floor area in front of the wall that is a different color on the bottom.
Ah, we're standing on a pressure plate of some sort. Everybody get off the plate and onto the walls if you can.
What?
It's just the part that's in front of the wall.
Yeah.
So there's the space in between the three areas is not like that.
Oh, okay.
I will hustle myself to safe ground.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will too.
Same.
Same.
Yeah.
You all huddle into this 5 foot by 5 foot square in between,
Super cozy.
except for Stefan, who's like hanging on the wall, like on the other side. And you hear like a, and the fresco, the fresco starts to move back, into the place that it was before, and the trap doors
Start swinging up.
start to reset.
Okay. All right. See? Ziggy steps on something. I fix the problem. We move on.
I don't think Ziggy was the one who stepped on something this time. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Show
Where are
hands.
we going
Everybody
now?
who fell in a pit.
I'm gonna turn around and can I walk back out through the entrance that we came, or the hallway that we came?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go back to that.
Back to the.
Keeping in mind the feathered snakes are probably able to get through those bars anytime. We should probably move quickly.
Yeah.
You make your way back to the anvil.
Utter
Yep.
darkness or blue room?
I think we go through utter darkness.
Utter darkness sounds like the obvious wrong choice, so let's do that.
I mean,
No guts, no glory.
All
Snake, you
right.
go first.
What? Okay.
You're shorter. If there's any traps, they'll go right over your head.
I'm not sure that's how that works, since the last trap involved a wall and pits. But okay, sure.
It's bounded. That's the one-off. This time we're good.
As
That
you're
trap's
walk-
totally a blade coming out of a wall.
As you're walking down the hallway, to the south. You notice that the light only seems to travel for a few feet. Like normally it would still glimmer a little bit. It's just oppressive gloom. It's almost like there's fog. And it opens as you're going down the hallway. It opens into another room. But you can't see the walls. But you can tell that the walls, like before, you could tell like 5 feet away. This is the hallway, and then it opens and the walls are further away, but you can't see them if you're just standing in the center.
We're standing in a fog.
What color is the floor in here?
It is black.
How would we know that, Snid?
Because I can crouch down
Yeah.
with the torch
So you are short, is what you're saying. Okay.
and look at the ground and then get back up.
Snid, unlike the other rooms that you have been in, this floor is spotless.
No, darn it.
Oh,
The room with the fresco room, there was definitely dirt and sand and stuff in that room. And obviously, we've talked about the flying snakes room. There was dirt and dust and streaks, like someone had been walking around inside the anvil room. But this is like it looks like someone cleaned it. Like it's spotless.
sparkly. That's weird.
And since the tiles are almost like enamel, like it's like they're gleaming clean.
All right. I would like to try to find a wall and get a sense of like the size and what else might be in this room.
Yeah. Give me a boots roll.
Okay.
Since you are moving about in the kind of gloominess.
Can we see you, Snid, as they walk off?
As long as they are within, the area that's around your... think about like each of you has like each of you except for Ziggy, who lost their light source, has a circle of light around them that's probably like 3 feet out.
Okay.
I got a
as far
1.
as we can see.
You rolled a 1. You're keen. I'll give it to you. You're kind of walking around and you're feeling the walls. You think that this room is probably identical in shape to the room that you were just in.
Okay.
Maybe 15 foot by 15 foot.
Mm-hmm.
The walls are also tiled. The other places were not.
Yeah. Do I run into any other doorways or any other kind of features along the walls?
Nope.
Okay. It's a big black room, same size as the last one that we were in, and I didn't find anything else. There's no other way out.
Well, not that you found anyway.
Not that I found, but I did a circuit of the whole room. The walls, anyway. I didn't examine the middle of the floor or the ceiling.
Okay. Speaking of the ceiling, I will put Stefan on top of my shoulders and walk around the room with him touching the ceiling. Yep.
Ook. The orangutan climbs up the old wizard. Takes off your hat, messes with your hair, puts the hat back on. As an orangutan would.
As one would, yes.
Reaches up to the ceiling and immediately yowls and then jumps to the ground. Stavros, give me a bones roll at disadvantage.
Ooh, all right then. I got a 7 and a 6.
They are good to go. A liquid hits you, but your voluminous old man robes prevent it from getting to your body. But where the liquid hits, it sizzles and burns through your robes.
Oh, okay.
Stefan's like holding his hand, and he's like,
Yeah. Okay. I will tuck Stefan into my robes. There's something on the ceiling. Watch out. Can I raise my light up higher to try and illuminate the ceiling?
"Oh yeah, that's a great idea." You raise your light up, and the ceiling catches on fire.
What?
What?
Oh,
Why is the ceiling on fire?
Hey,
What did you do?
You raise your lamp up, and it's like, and it's just like the entire ceiling rolls with like blue-green fire.
What did you do?
See,
For a
I don't
bright
need my.
moment,
no. This is smart. This is light for the room. Now we can all see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't need a light now.
I'm just helping Ziggy out.
For a moment, you see this rolling across the piece. The room is 15 foot by 15 foot. The entire room, all the walls and the floor are black tile, like almost like what you would imagine like a sauna would look like.
Okay.
Except for the ceiling, which is had been looked like it had been coated in some kind of almost like stalactites or something, like that were all glistening with some kind of acid that is now burning.
Apparently quite flammable.
And it's like dropping like zip fire, like.
Oh no.
So everyone make a bones roll at disadvantage.
Can't touch the floors, can't touch the walls, can't touch the ceilings.
The ceiling
rolled
is
a 5 and a
lava. I
6.
don't like it.
You're good to go.
Nice. Like
So
somersaults
with-
out of the
With
way.
disadvantage, do you just have to fail one? Or
Yeah, you need to succeed on both.
okay, then I have failed with a 2 and a
Oh, no.
5.
Take 3 hearts of damage.
Okay.
I got a 10 and an 8 for mine.
Because you are a sentinel, I'll give you the 10.
Okay.
And because it's also the darkness level isn't too bad.
Of course not.
It's
The
a
roof's
lot
on
worse.
fire.
That is correct. Then that fire goes out again. And the room returns to the same kind of strange gloom.
Well, I've identified the trap. Apologies, Jonah.
Jason, the thing that you were supposed to say is, Ziggy, what did you step on?
I was trying to think of a way to say that and make it like his fault, but I couldn't come up with anything right off the top of my head.
I was waiting for it.
In that brief moment where I lit the world on fire, did we see any of the walls? Is there any like doorway looking shapes or anything on the walls?
I told you there were no doorways. I examined the walls. You did not need to set the ceiling on fire to get a better
Listen,
look at the walls. I did my
needed to
job.
I can't do my job if I can't see what I'm doing. All right, so back out of this room then. I mean, let's not hang out in here anymore because Ziggy might do something weird.
Very flammable.
You might do something weird. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, when we get back into the anvil room, I'm going to have a look at the anvil. I know Jonah did, but I'm just curious. Do I, with my area of expertise, know anything about that? I do have learned, so
With advantage, because you are a sorcerer.
2 threes.
2 3s.
2 threes.
That's for you. That is a stellar result. Yeah, this is this stone is definitely imbued with magic. It's a magic of the. You are a conjurer. Like your type of your the school of magic that you do is conjuration. You use the ability to summon and pull. You can pull from all the different types of elements, all of the domains. But lots of mages can only do. They can do all different kinds of stuff, but they can only do it with one domain. And this domain is the forge, fire and metal. And you think that this is an enchantment, right? You're not an enchanter, but this is definitely this anvil is enchanted. There is something you need to do to this anvil to use it.
Jonah,
Maybe not light it on fire though.
Maybe not light it on fire. Lighting that room on fire was the only way any of us saw the rest of the room, Ziggy. Come on now. Jonah, when you examined this anvil earlier, did you notice anything that moves? Anything with like a slot or anything like that?
I did not.
Because it radiates a heck of a lot of magic, and
Well, that's
it's obvious.
your department.
It's something. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but it's something that can be manipulated. So I'm wondering if it's a physical manipulation or if I need to investigate further.
I'll go over, take another look at the anvil, see if I see any moving parts, pieces, switches, buttons.
Yeah, you spent some time with it. You had before. You think it's just a big hunk of metal. Like an anvil. It looks like unlike a lot of other things, anvils are cast. They're very difficult to make because you need to get something so hot that you can actually pour the metal, and the metal needs to be stronger than whatever you're doing. And this is definitely some kind of iron or steel. Like this is. You don't see there's no moving parts. It's just metal, and then it has the rune on the top of it.
Well,
We haven't seen anything in any of the other rooms that would indicate a similar shape to that rune. Then
Everybody, give me a books roll.
I got a 7, so no.
5 negative.
I got a
No.
1.
Nothing.
Nothing. No, you don't think you've seen anything else like it.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, one does normally need some heat source to forge and things with. Should we try applying fire to this anvil?
I know where we can find fire.
I'm aware.
I'm just not sure how we would get the anvil up to the ceiling. Okay, so we have one more doorway to go down. Let's check that out. Let's check that out for information. Maybe we'll find something in that room. Let's let Ziggy go first. I'm being serious here because Snid's gone first twice.
This is true.
That's
Equal opportunity.
That's fine. I don't care. I'll just start walking.
You're walking down the hallway. The tiles are blue, and at the end of the hallway, there is a large, what appears to be a wooden door that has been painted a deep blue color.
Okay.
But it is lacking a door handle. It's just a door.
Just a door.
You do see, though, that there is a rune inscribed on the door.
All right. Does the rune look like the anvil rune?
No, the rune is the traditional rune of sea, which is one of the other domains. The 5 domains are sky, sea, forge, night, and earth.
All right.
It looks like it kind of looks like a wave.
Okay.
The forge looks like a stylized fireball.
All that's in here is this door with a wave on it.
All right. I guess we'll examine the door, see if we can.
There's nothing on it. It's just a door with a wave on it.
No, but it isn't actually a door, though. So there might be something behind a door. That's what doors do.
Doesn't have a handle.
It has neither handle nor apparent hinges.
Doesn't have hinges either.
It
Fair
does,
enough.
though, look like a door in the fact that it is, made of wood and is at the end of a hallway.
It's wood, and it pains me that somebody painted it because this is probably a very beautiful wood underneath this.
Okay, this is going to sound offensive, Ziggy, but I need you to kick that door.
You want me to
Really
kick the
hard.
door?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Why?
Hard
I'll
as you
try,
can.
Give me a blades roll.
Put your back into it.
and I will. I will. That's a 1.
I mean, I think being the hard assassin kicking in the door is something that you would normally do.
Sure.
That seems real to me. Roll effect.
Oh no.
Roll effect.
Just roll.
3.
You kick the door. That door is going nowhere. Like, I mean, you kick it, and it's like kicking a solid stone wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it, and it's probably gonna like hurt a little bit because it's so solid, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, no, that's it's not going anywhere. It's gonna hurt in the morning.
Jonah, you want to have a look at it?
Sure. I'll
I don't know a
stride
darn
up
thing
and
about wood and stuff, so.
I'll start rapping on the door.
I just kicked it like super hard, man.
Give me a books roll, Jonah.
6 negative.
It's wood.
It's a good door. Strong door. Old door.
Good door. Solid. Old world construction here.
They don't make them like this anymore.
Gonna last a lifetime.
I'm going to spend one of our remaining 2 treasures and pull a vial of water out of my orangutan backpack and pour it on the door. I'm curious to see if it's... Because it has the wave symbol on it, so
What
maybe
are you
water goes to
doing?
water sort of thing.
Yeah, nothing happens.
So we have a wet door now. Okay.
I'm not going to count that. I'm not going to count that as a treasure. You pour it on there. Nothing happens.
have a wineskin that's suddenly just like, oh my god, this is my most prized wineskin. Okay, so we have earth in the one room. We had fire in the gloom room. We have water here, and we have metal in the main room. So, well, technically we had darkness in the fire room too.
The 5 domains are night, which is darkness.
Yeah.
Sea, which is water. Forge, which is fire and metal.
Yeah.
Sky,
Which would be the first room.
which is air.
Yeah.
And earth, which also is rocks and sand and but also trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, looks like we're in a.
So we have rooms representing all 5 of the elements, or all 5 of the.
That definitely matches your understanding of
Multipass.
the domains of magic.
Huh. Okay. So clearly, we need to do something in the center room with this forge. This has got to be the key here.
That would make sense. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what to do.
Well, we could bring sand from the pit trap. I mean, you burned up all the oil, So
No, I didn't burn it all up. More of it came out at the end. Don't try to put that on me.
We could get that. We could get some snakes. We could get.
You want to grab a snake?
Not really. Ziggy might though.
I mean, they're only 6 foot long. Maybe you should use some of your magic there, old wise one, and
like I didn't do that before saving my own life. I'm trying to think of what to cast. I'm at a bit of a loss. I'm gonna actually, I'll use my conjuration, and I'm going to try to conjure up a combination of all 5 elements and like into like a globe and swirl it around the anvil.
Okay. You're going to spend a star to do that?
Yeah.
You begin the process of conjuring the elements, in kind of a raw form. And when you get around to forge, the fire catches on, and the entire anvil, fire starts to dance around the anvil, and the symbol, the rune in the center, starts to glow. And you hear a sound, and it sounds like you get down the hallway, the door in the blue door like literally like slides down.
Oh, it was one of those kinds of doors. Sorry, Ziggy. Okay, I will put away the magic. Let it dissipate. I'll do it in an artistic fashion, though, shooting the earth part down the earth hallway and the sky part down the sky hallway and so on. Make it all look fancy, like I'm doing some kind of serious work. And then when I'm done, I will gesture down the hallway. Look, I've opened the path for us.
Oh, okay.
Let's let Jonah go first this time.
Fine.
Everybody has a turn.
We can all have a go. So I will just confidently stride in.
Jonah confidently strides. You stride down the and you come into you guessed it, a 15 by 15 foot room. The floor of which is in the blue tile, and the walls are painted in various shades of green and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Very tranquil, and there is a water pipe at the top of the wall opposite you, and there's a large stopper in the pipe, and there's just some water like condensating around it and dripping. And there is a grate in the center of the room with a hole in it. Or there's a hole in the center of the room with a grate over it.
Grate over it.
Sure. Okay.
I would like to go inspect the grate, look down, see if there's anything in there I can see that may be a blockage. Keep anything from draining out of here, because I get the feeling we're going to need to pull that plug.
You see that the grate has like a handle, like you can lift it off. It's not very big. It's only like the size of it's like the size of the pipe,
Yeah.
And the pipe it looks like it goes straight down.
Hmm.
And no other exits from this room?
Oh no.
Okay. Wow. Did you have to say it like that?
Oh no, indeed. Um.
Well, I mean, there's a grate in the floor. If we unplug the pipe, I mean, worst that's happening is water's going to run down the grate.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna stroll over to the plug and take a look at it and just kind of poke it a couple times.
The plug looks like it's made of a like cork,
Yep.
but it does have some runes on it.
Oh, look at this! Hey, guys, look, this has some runes on it. I'll take it out. And I'll be like, look, there's runes just like the other ones.
This is so
You pull it out. The water starts pouring out, and then spiraling down the drain in the center of the room.
Oh,
But
whoops.
the amount of water that's coming out is ridiculous.
You got the runes.
God, you got the root. Okay.
What do they
We could have
say?
looked at
What
that
do they
while it was still in the
represent?
pipe.
Is it an OSHA warning?
Do not remove in runes. Okay, well, while water's bumbling out, I guess we need to have a look at these runes, see what it says.
When you take a look at its stuff, it's just it's obviously an enchantment. It's mostly you think it's a water abjuration enchantment.
And does that explain the amount of water coming out of the pipe then? Like, is it...
No, but it might explain how this little cork was holding back that
holding back all the water. Okay. All right. And is the water going down the drain or is it filling the room?
It's going down the drain.
Okay.
I mean, the floor is kind of wet, but I mean, much like you would expect, it's just like this big, because it's coming from the ceiling. It's splashing, but the water isn't. It's like right now it's like a shower. It's like standing. If you were standing in it, it would be like standing in a very powerful shower.
Okay. All right, so no immediate cause for ridiculous concern. Is anything else changing in the room other than the floor getting wet?
Nope.
All right. So why would they put this behind a magically sealed door? What's the gain in that? And wait, since the whole time we've been in here, we haven't seen any other footprints other than that first room, right?
The first room had footprints. There was definitely activity in the second room.
The fresco room.
The anvil room.
Yeah.
The fresco room, you saw a skeleton.
Right.
The night room was suspiciously clean.
Weirdly spotless.
But then again, you did light the acid roof on fire, so that could have something to do with it.
Might be
Acid
a
dripping
self-cleaning
and
dungeon
everything,
room.
yeah. Yes.
This room appeared pretty clean. Like there's no
Water. Washing things.
It doesn't look like it was recently. It's not like moldy or anything.
Yeah.
Kind of
Jonah,
weird.
you looked down the grate, right?
Mm.
And there was nothing down there, just a pipe going down.
Looked clear.
Looks clear.
And it seems like it's draining right now. Maybe we have to make it not drain by removing the grate and putting the cork.
Or hear me out. Maybe I put this stopper in the grate, so then that way it stops the water from going down.
Wow, it's like Jonah was just channeling you for a minute. It's amazing.
So wonderful suggestion, Ziggy.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
Ziggaroo.
Or
there's a part 2. I can't wait.
I don't know. I'm just that's all I came up with.
Hey, I guess we'll go with the one plan then.
Well, there's my plan, and then there's Jonah's plan.
Which strangely are the same plan.
Technically, Ziggy didn't want to remove the grate first. He just wanted to put the cork on the grate.
Right.
So
That's true. There's a slight variation. But if the thing I'm worried about is if we remove the grate and we drop the cork down there, we lose the cork. And then we could possibly be standing up here looking down a hole saying, well, that was stupid.
You think that the cork would fit
they were about the same size.
In the
It would
grate?
fit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Let's put it in the grate.
Okay. Fair. You're the man, Ziggy.
All right, I'm gonna put it in the grate and like push it down so it's like nice and.
You're putting it on the grate.
Yeah.
So it's sitting on the grate.
No, I'm putting it in. Isn't there a hole in the grate or something?
No, the grate's in a hole.
Oh, the grate's in a hole.
Jonah just reaches over and lifts up the grate, picks it up and puts it back in. And when you do that, the door goes and lifts up and snaps into place. And very quickly the room begins to fill with water.
Nice.
Is this the desired outcome? Is this what we were going for?
I think we have to swim up to the top.
I think this might actually be the desired outcome, Snid. How are you with the swimming?
Passable.
Okay. I am going to take my robe off. I'm still wearing clothes underneath, so none of that. And bundle it up so that I can swim properly, and I'll just tie it around my back or whatever. And as the water rises, we'll wait for the water to start to rise. I mean, worst comes to worst, we swim down, we grab. Okay. Worst comes to worst, we swim down, we grab the cork and start over, kind of thing. So we'll let the water rise.
The water is at your waists.
It's rising quickly. The waist for the rest of you is up to here on me.
It is at Snid's neck.
Is the
so
water
Snid's already swimming?
Is the water cold or warm?
The water is cold.
It's cold. Except for around Snid. And we know what that means.
Ew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Snid.
Okay.
I don't know why, but at this point, over the last 6 months, 1 out of 3 video casts I have done have involved jokes about people going to the bathroom in water.
I mean,
I'm glad we've been able to continue that for you.
Something you inspire in people, apparently.
pinnacle
Very,
of our
very strange trend.
Yeah.
Very, very strange trend.
Peeing ourselves in fear here. Okay.
The water at this point is at everyone's shoulders, and Snid is treading water.
No other changes in the room yet?
No other changes in the room yet.
Okay. The ceiling doesn't have anything on it that we didn't notice before, like a escape hatch?
Nope.
Okay.
Duck my head underwater and kind of look around and see if
Yes.
see if anything on the floor is different or
Yeah.
Jonah ducks his head under the water.
His
And
head gets wet.
you don't see anything different.
Okay. See, this is making me nervous now. This is either where we all die or we let it go to the ceiling and, money. Okay. I'm on board with letting it go to the ceiling. Is everybody else? Does anybody feel a need to get that plug back out?
I can be down the floor, and if it gets too high, I can just pull it out, and then it'll go down the drain, and then we don't all die.
Assuming the plug isn't somehow magically sealed to the drain now. Okay.
Ha ha! There's no way to escape. You won't die. Ha ha!
You did say it was a death trap.
You as you are considering your permutations, at one point all of your heads are underwater, and you see the far wall. There is a square that looks exactly like the door, and it slides open, and the water begins to slide that way.
Aha!
Here we go.
See, I knew it.
Water park time.
Woo!
Moving that way, you are in a stairwell, and free to breathe.
Ooh, okay. I will squeeze the water out of my robes and just wriggle back into them. Like, oh, this is gross.
It probably weighs like 30 pounds too.
Poor Stefan is just
Gotta
like
ring
shaking
Stefan
himself.
out, too.
You guys climb to the top of the stairwell, and you come out inside of a broken shambles of what was once obviously a gorgeous fountain as part of this ancient complex. And when you look down the stairwells where that door was, it's completely gone. And you are trying to figure out what any of that had to do with anything. Because like you literally went around down there and then you got out and now it's like, it looks gone. Like it looks like when you go back, you can see that there is the original opening and you could go back down again.
As we did from the beginning, you mean?
As you did from the beginning. The entrance that you came out of is completely gone.
Okay.
So as not to spend 20 minutes of you guys trying to figure out what you did find the way out, which is great.
Yeah.
You just managed to not find
What
all of the treasure.
And any of the other things.
But you didn't die, which is really good.
So we've established that we can get out, which is good because that means we can just go back in and keep looking. Because we know exactly how to get out.
I guess.
How did we miss all the treasure?
I don't know.
Ran away from the other rooms.
The other rooms tried to kill us.
Yeah.
That's why we ran.
I was afraid you weren't going to light the anvil on fire and just be stuck there. We were going to come to the end of our time and be like, well, they just died. They were stuck there forever.
Stayed there forever, and then we died.
Well, technically, that would be an excellent maze.
This was, I've been playing a lot of, because of the Kickstarter, we've been playing a lot of online games, playing it with different people, trying different things. And I was like, hey, I would love to do a classic death trap, because I had made the joke about, just trying to kill you. So I just was like, I'll work out like a classic. But the thing is really, there were treasures in all of the other rooms. This was just the exit. The room in the dark, you have to turn your lights off.
Okay.
Oh.
Except for
can't have any light in the room, and if so, then there's the door opens, and then there's a bunch of treasure.
Can't blame me for that room.
And then in you actually have to fight the snakes because there's stuff in there. You just ran away from the snakes, which was not something I expected. I kind of expected the first thing we'll do is we'll just have a big combat. We'll fight these snakes.
No, we don't want to fight
run away,
snakes.
run away from the snakes.
No, thank you.
This is the least amount of combat. Literally, I attack some things and I run away. Run away. No.
Nope.
I mean, you said they were 6 feet long. I mean, come on.
Right?
Who wants?
That's a
Who
big
wants 6
flying
foot? Who wants to
snake.
tangle with a whole bunch of 6 foot long flying
Giant snakes,
nope ropes?
not me.
I mean,
But I'm not an adventurer. I have a day job.
I hit one pretty hard. That's
You
all.
You
did.
did. You
Yes,
did.
Jonah
Yeah,
just kicked the
You know,
crap
if
out of
there
her.
had been like maybe 2 more, that would have been one thing. But you said there were lots. I think saying there were lots is why
Yeah,
we decided to leave.
when he said the wall starts to rustle, I was like, I'm out.
I made it that there was a lot after you had run away, so that it would justify you running away.
It feels cinematic that way. Yes, that's hilarious.
Because that trap was actually triggered by everyone not being out. Everyone being through that room is what closed that door.
I
Right,
figured, yeah.
right.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
we have established that we can get back out again, so now we can just go in and clear it methodically, room by room, and get all that treasure.
Gygaxian. One of the things that we're focused on in the new version of Mazes that we're going to be doing is creating a bunch of rules. I mean, I say creating. We're working on them now. That we're finalizing the stuff for a more West Marches style of gameplay. And so one of the things is that would be a perfect example of like, okay, well now we got out. Now we know what to do. And now I know what I need to do is go back and get another party. And that party needs to have these people so we could do that thing.
Right, right.
And also the idea that would be like you get a type of treasure that you might get is a map or a quest line or a thing that opens up another area, right? That would literally, like at the end of this, like if an adventure like this in the campaign frame that we're working on, which is called the City of Skull, this would be like a trial thing for some ancient wizard, and at the end of it, it would be like, oh, here's the staff that you get for completing this piece that is like opens a door of a place that you may have already been, right? Like it would be you go to a place and it would be like, oh, if we had this key or this staff, we could get in there.
Yeah,
Little Metroidvania style.
the thing you need to get to Section B is in Section A somewhere.
Yes, or the thing that you need to get to Section C is in Section D, but you can only get to half of Section D.
Yeah.
Until you've gotten through Section C, and that's how you get there. You know, that's like
Right.
This door requires a skull key. 6 rooms later, you found a skull key.
let me run back.
Yeah. It's whether or not you're willing to do it. Or you remember it anyway. One of those things.
Dustin says all this Mazes polymorph system is making the game run very well. The mechanics aren't slowing the game at all. Super excited to run this with my kids. Yeah, I think that's.
I like the fact that
just
everybody has different dice. That really makes it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It creates the mechanical differences that people need. Everyone's not the same.
Yeah. Exactly. Like when I had to make those rolls to not get hurt, I was like, okay, I was genuinely worried because I'm playing a wizard, but I'm still a sentinel, so I have lots of hearts. So I wasn't afraid to get hurt, but I was like, well, I don't want to get hurt anyway. But then I was rolling like a champion when it came to my bones rolls.
Which you should. You're the D10, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really do, it's a thing that's never made any sense to me, which is why is every wizard weak, right? Like just because I'm a wizard, if my magic is that I turn myself into the Hulk, but it can still be a wizard, right? It's just that my magic is bang, I'm the Hulk, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly, yeah.
you could super play that in this kind of a situation. I also like to play the opposite, which is I like to play the fighter that's the D4. So I don't do a lot of damage, but what I do is like super. I never miss the strategy. Like as long as I know what I'm doing, you're always good.
Yeah.
There's lots of
Just
different little things.
Yeah, it's different ways of playing each class, which is kind of cool actually, because like you said, in every other trope game, the wizard is the frail guy in the back who's terrified of taking a hit. But like with just by changing a simple class mechanic, all of a sudden, hey, the wizard can stand up front and be blocking and defending people. Like
it's a thing that I heard someone a commentary that we got recently it felt more like 4th edition, and 4th edition gets very maligned, but there was one thing that everyone, can give 4th edition, which is everybody was equally good at everything. The problem is everybody was good at everything. And being good at everything isn't fun. You want to be good at the things that you're good at, and you want to actually be good at them, which is a big focus here. I love to say that is a thing that my character could do, and that way I get to do that. Or, you roll a 1 and you're like, no, I'm sorry, the old wizard can't hold back the wall.
Yeah.
It's not what you get. You get pushed into the pit.
I was so hoping I'd succeed there. That would have been awesome. Scrawny old man, just like, I got this.
No.
TD has a question. He's in the chat and says, when a player wants to use his magic with a star, it's something that affects the plot or something? Yes. How does the player and GM describe the spell and how much it affects? What keeps a player from saying, if I spend a star, I can put everyone in the castle to sleep? And then
that is about the game as written right now has some controls around that. But it is an area that we get a lot of questions about because, of course, every gamer is like, you're giving me narrative control. I am God. I have the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah. Right? So the thing is what prevents that is just the scope of your game, right? If we're playing a game where we say we are amazing, superpowered people, then my wizard could spend a star and say, I put everybody to sleep. If we're playing a gutters game, if we're playing Stafford and the Grey Mouser, that's not a thing. I could put one guy to sleep for a minute, right? The difference is, so we are spending some time trying to define scope so that people can really understand that. The baseline for mazes is the idea of a Sword and Sorcery level campaign. The Sword and Sorcery one-shots, it's supposed to be low-powered, right? But you do have narrative control. And one of the things that we are doing in the new book is really focusing the spends of stars, not on your class, but on your aspect. And trying to make that easier so that people kind of get an understanding. Because it doesn't matter what kind of a magic user you are. At the end of the day, you're casting spells, right? So it's like, what does a spell look like? In our seasonal zines, so currently Mazes is 9 zines. There's 5 seasonal zines. The seasonal zines have like a grimoire of spells that are really just kind of explaining this is a thing that you could do. And the expectation is I'm spending a star to do these things. And they're
give you like a scale sort of thing.
Yeah, it's really just kind of a guidebook, give you some ideas of what to do. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, there's effectively, you can choose what I want to do magically, as I want to do everything with schools of magic, or I want to do everything with domains of magic. And so there's 5 schools and there's 5 domains, or all the spells. Basically what we do is we take all the domains, we take all the schools, and then we put them all together and we say, if you took these 2 things, you put them together, this is what a spell would look like. So if I'm evoking night magic, what am I doing? Oh, I'm spreading fear, right? Like that's what that would look like. Right? And just doing that in a way to make it so that it's easy for people to do and to have an understanding. But a lot of it's about gauging that scope. So trying to put some fine tuning around scope,
It sounds like there's a lot of cooperation between the players and the maze controller too. These are conversations you want to have and work out ahead of stuff. So that
if you know who you're playing with, right? Like, so the thing that when I run the game, as opposed to some of our other maze controllers, the games feel different as it's going to, because my narrative, I'm very permissive to the players. Like, I want the players to do as much. I like to pretend that I'm trying to kill you, but I'm not really trying to kill you. Whereas one of our other designers, Patrick really wants to murder you. Like, Patrick looks at Tomb of Horrors and is like, this is how you make a game. And, and both of those you can play both ways. So having Ben, you're right, like having a conversation or really just evolving it as you're playing with what that expectation is. The same's true of treasure. Treasure can be very, very broad. You guys played it pretty straightforward. Like, I'm going to spend a treasure for a rope. But I know plenty of more power gamer type people that are like, I spend a treasure for a potion of ethereal steps so that I can just transport myself to the other side of the wall. And it's like, well, if that's the game that you're playing, that's fine. Do you want to play with power at that scope, right? That's really the thing that you just need to decide beforehand. And I think that's up to the maze controller to define that.
As a player, I'd be scared to request that because I know that pendulum's going to swing back the other way.
Right. Yeah, usually that's what you do. You can always say yes, you can do that, but have something come back around to bite them in the
like with a sleep spell. If you want to put everybody in a castle to sleep, fine, but it only works for 10 seconds.
Or worse, which is I'm going to spend a darkness and I'm going to use that to poison everyone you've ever met.
Doug Engler from Animazing Radio has a question. He says, this was fun to watch. How easy is it for a new person to RPG?
So with mazes, we actually have on our YouTube channel, Doug, we have it was Doug, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I for a minute there, I was like, wait, did I just
Doug?
confuse?
And also Doug?
There's two of us.
Talking to Doug, and then anyway.
He's the cooler Doug.
Doug Engler on Ninth Level's YouTube channel, Ninth Level, or youtube.com/9THLEVELGAMES, Ninth Level Games. There is a video called Mazes in 5 Minutes where I explain the rules to this game in 5 minutes, and really that's all you need. If you've never roleplayed before, Mazes is designed for that. Part of our joke is that it's easy enough for a person who's never played before to play, but crunchy enough that every old school gamer is going to feel like they're actually playing. That it's a complete game, that they have enough switches to pull in order to feel like they're really involved. Mm-hmm. If what you want is something that is super crunchy, there's plenty of games out there that aren't this game.
Yeah, this is a good introduction. And it's kind of weird to say it as an introductory game too. Like, there's lots of complexity available in this game. You just have to find it for yourself, but you don't get beat over the head with it walking in the door, which is nice.
Right.
Like it is what you can make of it.
The complexity is there if you want to dig for it.
Yeah.
Which some players really do. But at the end of the day, you're always just going to roll your die, and you're going to look at your character sheet, and then you're going to be like, "Yep, that's a blades. Yep, that's a bones." And I think that is freeing, and it allows you to really focus on the game. And that can either free you up so that you can be more narrative, or it could free you up so that you can be more in your character. Like, I'm pressing the walls and I'm trying the thing. Mazes is really focused on the idea of a dungeon crawl, but Polymorph, the underlying system, is for any kind of game. And, we have a bunch of other games already, and there's more coming out all the time that are using Polymorph, which is the same easy, but in very different things. Like, we have a game about being princesses, that's cartoon princesses, called The Excellence. We have a game out now called Business Wizards, which is about being wizards in dead-end corporate jobs. The people that wrote that, Nat and Pat, are amazing, and that game's like, super hysterical, and some other little games, and we have other games that are coming out. So there's a game in there for what you're trying to do. Yeah.
TD has a comment that says, I have a group of half freshman players and brand new players, and are asking me to DM D&D, but I want to pitch this game to them instead. So I want to be ready if they want to say, yes, we'll try it.
Yes,
Yes,
TD,
sir.
that's what you want to do. And the Mazes set, there's plenty of pre-designed adventures that will walk you through and tell you exactly. The actual core Mazes 4-book set that's out that you can get right now has 3 adventures in it. And then there's an adventure in each of the seasonal zines. In the future, and by the future I mean starting in July, we're going to have a feature on Drive-Thru RPG called Mazes Monthly, which is going to have a new Mazes adventure every month, written by people that are good at making adventures. So pretty exciting. I think we already have like 7 or 8 of them that are already like in the can. They're in layout. They're all fun. They're all different. So like, if you have a group of new players, it's a great way of. Well, there you go. The rubber banded zine set. You're good to go. That's all you need. I suggest you run them a litany of scratches, which is an adventure that is by the Trilemma Adventures. We just restatted it from OSR stuff to Mazes, and it's a real good time for people that are new to gaming.
And
it's got like weird animal skeletons, which is what everybody wants.
It'd be super easy to restat other adventures to Mazes. It would take almost no time at all.
There's actually rules in the Mazes book for using OSR, translating OSR stuff to Mazes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super easy. In fact, I almost ran tonight for y'all. I almost ran one of my favorite zines from this year's Zine Quest, In the Shadow of Tower Silveraxe. But then I realized that, well, this isn't my game. I can't use this stuff. They might get mad at me. I should ask them. And then I was like, oh, I'll ask them and if I can run this.
After the fact, we'll be like, hey, so we did a thing. Is it okay if we did that thing?
I'm sorry, I just used your stuff.
Maybe
Man, this is a great book. So, yeah. So I mean, anything, I ran Against the Cult of the Reptile Gods by Douglas Niles in Mazes, and it took me almost nothing. I could literally translate the old first edition stuff on the fly to Mazes stuff. So, and there's a lot of wacko stuff in that in that mod.
Yeah,
I love Niles stuff.
Because it's a really it's not the right word. I was going to say easy rule set. It's not necessarily an easy rule set. It is what you make of it, but it's easy to very quickly adapt an existing adventure because you have your 3 core concept stuff, and then you're just assigning dice to things. Then you're done. You can use all this. You can use all the text that's written in the thing. You can use all of the items. You can use all of the loot. You don't have to adjust any of that if you don't want to. If you want to play that kind of a system, it's just a matter of coming up with the conversion to stat blocks. That's it. You're done.
And converting to our stat block is really easy because our stat block is literally 2 numbers and then some words.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like you're going to go from a stat block that has like 14 different lines for representing different abilities and what are damage and attacks and movement and blah 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 blah, and you're going to condense it down to like a line.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a whole adventure into like a 3-page booklet kind of thing and be like, hey, I'm done.
Ready to go. Ready to rock and roll.
Because inevitably you're going to run into a bunch of goobers like us who are going to do everything weird.
Just going to run away from the monsters.
And not play
run away from the traps. Light we were fueling on fire.
We were basically a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. It should, under VCG at the top of the screen, it should say off the rails.
I've had the great pleasure of playing with a lot of people, and the reality is I guess there might be people out there that play by the rails, but I've never met them. them.
Yeah, no.
Never met them. No adventurer has ever met a group of a party and survived.
TD says some of the best games exist off the rails. I totally agree. Those are some of the best moments, like those unexpected moments. That's definitely,
If there's anybody who can do off the rails, it's us.
So Chris, we're almost out of time here. It looks like we're creeping up close to $82,000 now, which is crazy awesome, and really excited. I'm going to remind folks that if you haven't checked out the Kickstarter, check out the Kickstarter for Mazes in the description below, and also if you'd like to be a part of the Mazes community, there's the link to the Discord server as well, so feel free to...
The Discord's really been fun. People, especially with this Kickstarter, it's helped people. There's a bunch of people that have been part of it for a while, and there's a couple hundred people on there that are talking about mazes, and
that's awesome.
Great place to ask a question. So if you, especially if you're new to running, there's people there that want to help. I haven't met anybody. We haven't had to kick anybody off yet.
That's a selling point right there, because
it's always a good sign, right?
Just when you get into the bigger RPGs, like even as much as it sucks to say 5e, you're going to get into servers where there's going to be people who have the biggest gates to keep in the world, and they will try to tell you exactly how the game is played, and if you're not doing it the way they tell you, it's wrong, and those are the servers you want to stay away from.
Mazes is definitely a rulings, not rules game. So at the end of the day, if anyone ever tells you that you're playing it wrong,
they're doing it wrong.
You can play the game however it makes sense. There are rules and there is intentions, but if it makes sense to do something different in your space. Justin, super glad. Join us on the Discord. We'll help you out. I'm super glad to hear that.
Yeah, Justin says he backed the Kickstarter and then got impatient and ordered the zine, so that's awesome.
That's how it happens. That's exactly how it happens.
That's right.
What do you mean I'm not going to get this until like 6 months from now? I want it now.
Hey, they want to get playing. Things are starting to open up. Folks can hopefully, if you can kind of get together with a few friends safely, you might as well now, if you can. Just be careful.
You can actually play with a person that in a real public place.
Exactly.
Those still exist, by the way.
Same.
Yeah.
Public places are still up.
I just got into the idea that I was never leaving my house again.
Right.
And
I was happy with it. I was kind of okay.
Man, now I have to reintegrate into society.
I could do this.
Essentially gone feral. This is difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I got really good at the thing of just like, okay, well, I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
Whatever that may or may not be.
TD wants to know, is there a Mazes character sheet on Roll20?
You know what? There is.
Nice.
Not only is there a Mazes character sheet on Roll20, there's an active sheet. So it actually does everything, and it has buttons that roll all the dice for you.
Ooh.
Cool.
And the Roll20, there's a module. You can get the module, and if you get the module, it has like a backdrop and a bunch of pieces, including cards for the conditions and things. There's a little bit more than what we played with today. And on the Kickstarter, there is a Roll20 a tier, because when the hardcover comes out and the PDF comes out, we're also going to release a complete Roll20 compendium. So you'll be able to get all the rules to mazes inside Roll20. They've been really nice and fun to work with.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some really cool people at Roll20 that really care about trying to get smaller companies involved in trying to get that indie community to realize the value they can get on Roll20, which is kind of neat. And for a game like ours, which is theater of the mind, it's not the first thing you think of, or people are like, well, why do I need a virtual tabletop? Obviously, you don't. We all did fine here rolling the dice, but there's something to be said for sharing and having the virtual dice and an active character sheet,
Yep.
and being able to put information back and forth between the players. As an added
people
bonus,
like it. Yeah. When you get to roll dice communally and everyone sees all your dice.
everyone can see the dice. Yeah. I mean, I like the 3D. I like the big 3D roller in Roll20. The mazes, the not what's available today on Roll20, but what's going to be available when the Kickstarter is done and we fulfill. The jukebox will be preloaded with the Dungeon Synth Knoll soundtrack, so you'll be able to get some cool, dark, ambient, medieval sounds.
Nice.
That'll be awesome.
In your Roll20.
See, I mostly use Foundry, but I might have to start using Roll20 for that.
The people have said about Foundry, I haven't used it, and there hasn't been a lot of tools made available.
No, it's very grassroots Foundry. It's not. There's no tool sets to use to make stuff for Roll20 yet. You're basically just coding it yourself, kind of thing. I think there's some basic stuff, but nothing on the stage of Roll20 yet. But still, that's very cool.
Yes, very cool.
If anybody out there is like, oh, I want to put mazes on Foundry, let us know.
Absolutely. Hey,
people that can do that and that are interested in it. So.
The more platforms that you can get your game on, the better.
We want to get rid of, just like our regular rules, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to enjoy and play the game.
Chris, if folks want to know more about Ninth Level and all the things that you're doing there, where should they go? Where do you want the folks to go
to? ninthlevel.com. That's 9thlevel.com. They can find us at Ninth Level Games on all of the socials. Facebook, Twitter, Insta, and TikTok. You can also go to TikTok at Ninth Level Games if you want to see the adventures of my good friend Yeet the Kobold. Yeet over there. You can find me personally if you want to hit me up at All Hail King Torg on Twitter. We will be at Origins, and we will be at PAX Unplugged. That's where you can find us.
Excellent.
Go Sixers.
And go Sixers, that's right. I'm going to tell folks that if you backed Mazes on Kickstarter, let me know. Or if you've played it at all, let me know in the comments. And if you're watched all this way and you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join us every single...
Subscribe.
Make sure you do all the things that we appreciate here. And we love having all these wonderful folks that are part of our VCG community, and we love to have you join us for more of these sessions. And we love promoting all sorts of RPGs here on the show, so we greatly appreciate it. And also hit that like button, share it, all that stuff helps. That's just what you got to do. I want to thank Amanda, Jason, Ben. Thank you all for giving me part of your night, and Chris, of course, thank you for coming on yet again. And
thank you all. It's always a pleasure.
It was a lot of fun. And
Are
everyone,
you sure you want to thank me for hanging out and pestering you, Doug?
I mean, it happens so often now. It's just second
I know,
nature.
right?
That's all of our. Whenever we're on a show together,
it's a trope now. It's like I'm going to find a way to make fun of Doug at some point.
That's basically how it is. I think I'm like you're the Shaggy to my Scooby. All right,
That's
folks.
Romantic.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time. Be safe, be well, and remember, winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Water